Welcome back to the Conflict Hotline. We have a caller on the line, Denise from Santa Rosa, and Miki's going to tell us a little bit about her situation.
Hi, Denise. Welcome into the studio. So as I understand it, Denise, who's going to be played by Barbara, has a 17-year-old son, Tim, who's going to be played by Jared. Yeah. And the situation is that Tim smokes pot.
Wow.
And Denise is not happy about that. It's very, very concerned about it. And you're kind of beside yourself trying to figure out what to do about the situation because you've tried to talk with him and it hasn't really gone very far. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So Denise, the real Denise on the phone, is there anything you'd like to add to this before we plunge into the role play? Are you there, Denise? Hello? I'm not hearing anything, so we're just going to continue as if, assuming that...
Assuming she can hear us, we'll keep going.
Okay, so let's see what a typical conversation would look like about this topic and then see what we can do to transform that.
Have you been smoking again, Tim?
What's the big deal about it? What's the big deal, Mom?
Really?
What's the big deal?
I mean, really? After all this, really?
You're getting all worked up again. It's not a big deal.
It's a big deal, Tim. You're throwing your life away.
It's a big deal to you, Mom. I'm fine. I'm really fine.
You won't be fine.
So thank you. I can really see that for you, this is like, you cannot even stand to hear one more word from her. Yeah. And that you are just so exhausted and frightened about this. And yet connection is not happening here, movement is not happening here for either one of you. You're not successful at getting her off your back, and you're not successful at getting the outcome that you want. Yeah. Correct? This method has not really worked out.
Yes.
So in order to create any kind of transformation, it's once again trying to focus on shifting it from outcome to connection. And it's a very, very difficult shift to make when, the whole future of your son is, from your perspective, on the line. How can you even open your heart to just being with what is? It's almost like there is like an illusion that we can control our children. And we hold on to that illusion because, if I could only control him, then he would stop. And then everything would be fine. Isn't it something like that? Like
I used to be able to, yeah. I mean, I can get back to that.
I don't think so. The reality is we can never make anybody else do anything. What we can do is we can create consequences that are going to be very unpleasant, but we can't actually make them do anything. You can, when you have an infant, you can pick the infant up and take it from one place to another. But you can't make anybody do something. You can only create fear by promising really difficult consequences. That difference is really huge, and I'm wondering if you can see what I mean. Mm-hmm. Do you think you can actually make him stop smoking pot?
Not really.
Thank you. I bet that's a really painful thing to acknowledge.
It's scary.
Yeah. So let's be with that fear for a moment. Because that fear makes it really hard to engage with him in a heartfelt, connected way. It's like there's a lot of grief for you.
Yeah. I want his help in keeping him safe.
Yeah. And part of the tragedy is that he doesn't see this. When you approach him the way that you do, he doesn't see your heart. I want to double check it with him, but what you're seeing now is probably something you've never seen before.
No, I've never seen it before.
Yeah. You think it's obvious, but you're actually protecting yourself all the time. Because you're supposed to make him, so the connection doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So without any further coaching, I want you to try to connect with him just from the truth of this place, and just let's see what happens when you try. Don't collect yourself before you speak with him.
Tim, I want so much for you to have such a really full life, and I can't help but imagine that your smoking pot is really going to interfere with that. It breaks my heart to think of you not having all the opportunities that you want in life. And I have a lot of fear that you won't have those.
Thank you. So now you express this incredible vulnerability. And you probably want to know that that was received in some way. Want to know what's in this heart in response or something. So can you ask him for something that will give you a sense that there's connection?
Do you get a sense of what I want for you?
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
You want me to do what you want me to do.
That was a no.
Yeah.
See, this is the, thank you, Tim, because I think his response shows kind of like in stark colors the tragedy of what happens in parenting. That and here's how it goes. The need for autonomy for the child is so strong that it filters everything that comes from the parent. So the care, the worry, the interest in the child's life, the dreams for the future, all get obliterated and seen through, you're trying to make me do something. Especially when you have 17 years of trying to make your child do something, it's not going to happen overnight that he can see your heart. So what I'm getting is that it will require some effort to make contact. Still, I imagine that on your end, this conversation felt very different from the previous ones, didn't it? Can you say what was different?
I have a clear sense of why this matters to me, just having named it.
Yeah. Thank you. So you know what matters to you. Now comes the other part. If you remember from before, we're talking about how do we make something that works for both of you? How do we prioritize the connection? How do we include him? What do you think matters to him? Do you have any sense?
Having fun, getting to choose things that he enjoys, being with friends in a way he wants to be with his friends.
Great. So why don't you check with him any one of these things? You can just ask him, Tim, do you smoke pot because, and see, and he will tell you.
Tim, do you smoke pot because you enjoy the way it helps you interact with your friends?
It's fun. It's fine, and I'm totally responsible about it. I'm not a pothead. I don't smoke pot all the time. I just smoke every once in a while.
So what I'm hearing is something else that is profoundly important to him that I know is true for just about any teenager. He wants to be trusted.
Yeah.
I want to check to see if Denise is on the line with us before we continue, so we're not too far afield from the reality of her situation. Denise, are you there? Okay, so we lost Denise, and we hope that we are playing it in a way that will be helpful to Denise. It's too bad that she's not there, but so do you understand that experience of wanting to be trusted?
Mm-hmm.
See if you can reflect to him that you understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is not what he said. What he said is, I'm responsible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you can see through that to what the real human need is that you have also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And do you want me to know that you are being careful and are and taking care of yourself, and want me to trust in that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's even a little tiny bit of relief from having her get that part.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's relief there. Yeah, definitely.
So keep trying to see, to understand what else is true there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you a tip, which is that the quality of relationship between you is more of the issue right now than the smoking pot itself. So if you can make the contact with him, then he might feel freer to tell you about the pot smoking. When he trusts that this is a genuine exchange, a genuine dialogue designed for mutual understanding rather than designed to get him to stop, then there is going to be like, okay, I can talk with my mom. Right now, he's over there thinking, my mom doesn't get it, I can't talk with her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See if you can stretch to bridge that gap.
Mm-hmm. Are you tired to death of this conversation around you smoking?
I mean, it's not really a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You just tell me what you think, and you don't ever listen to me.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. You start interacting with another person and they tell you what they want. They just tell you as soon as you give any indication that you want to hear. Now it comes in a very tough form, and it comes in the form of, you never listen to me. If you just listen through the words, he's saying, I'm not trusting the quality of conversation because I want you to also listen to me. Very simple, right there. Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're in business.
And I'd really like for me to actually ask you how things are for you and plan on hearing from you rather than just saying what's on my mind.
Sort of. I mean, it'd be nice once in a while to just tell you about my life without getting so much judgment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Breathe. This ain't easy. But what is he telling you that he wants?
Mm-hmm. So you'd like me to hear that without having judgment about what it is you share with me, just to be able to hear it and know what's happening for you.
Acceptance, and trust that I'm smart, I'm taking care of myself, that I'm going to get into a good college.
Yeah.
Maybe a little faith that I'm learning how to take care of myself and that I can take care of myself. That would go a long way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So really, you'd like me to trust that you are capable.
Yeah, I mean, more than trust, I am capable.
Yeah, and to see you for your capability.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Now you see how much more flow there is now. And remember, understanding someone, whether they're your child or not, is not the same as agreeing with them. It doesn't mean that you now have to say, well, I do trust, thank you, do whatever you want. It's just understanding that that's what he wants.
The skeleton is rotting in the grave.